20th. Couple of our teammates will be up there, and we'll have our fun devices for blind and low vision paddlers up there at Alameda. I don't know what place that's called, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll get into that.
Beautiful. All right. I'm gonna let
Yeah.
Lisa, or I think it's Lisa. I'm not sure. Olivia, is you the introducer?
Yes,
Oh,
Olivia said.
I'm gonna jump off you
it's
guys. It's
so
so nice to see
formal.
you.
I don't want it
Thank
to be
you.
that formal. Adrian, did you give him presenting rights? That's the only issue that I wanted to make sure before you left.
We double checked that the share privileges on all of these calls before you get on, or any one participant at all. Anybody
Okay.
can present. So
Okay. Thank
yeah,
you.
of course. Bye, you guys.
Aloha.
All right, RJ, thank you so much for being
You're
here. We're
welcome.
looking forward to hearing about your more about your program, and I'm just going to let
Yeah.
you get started and go ahead and
Okay.
introduce yourself to everyone. Thank you so much.
Sure. You're welcome. My name's RJ De Rama. Aloha, everybody. I am a 51-year-old bilateral retinoblastoma cancer survivor. And I always start my story out with that because it definitely has framed who I've become and been lucky enough to uh, grow into. And so, for those that don't know, retinoblastoma is a cancer of the eyes. I had two tumors, one on each retina, and they found it. It was a little bit too late. I was stage 4, but they still let me keep my eyes, and simply because normally they just enucleate them at stage 2 or 3. But I was lucky enough to be diagnosed at stage 4, and then got to keep my eyes, and thank God the universe and whomever is up there. I survived chemo and radiation, so I think speaking to a group like this helps me to uh, just circle back, take stock, and then I'm just happy to be here to be able to share what we've been able to grow and build and down here in Orange County, and hopefully uh, get some people up north into our canoes or into some canoes and to experience the same sort of change that I got to experience from the sport of outrigger paddling. But I do got ahead of myself a little bit there. So I'm the executive founder and executive director. I'm sorry, John, if he watches this later, co-founder and executive director of the Makapo Aquatics project. And I think if it's okay, I'd just like to go into my slides, if that's all right, if I can
Sounds good.
find it.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on one second. Thought I had that window ready. There it is. Got it. Okay. Well, you guys get to see my phone number right away. Let's go all the way back. So, my organization is the Makapo Aquatics Project. Makapo, or is actually officially the Orange County Makapo Aquatics Project. And the Hawaiian word for blind is Makapo, which is two words, which means Maka, which is eye, and Po, which is dark. And then our mission statement has grown into what you see before you, where we like to say that we're committed to championing active lifestyles for people with any sort of disability throughout rigger paddling, and also for their friends and family and caregivers. And because what we're all about is a shared experience. And we were founded in 2007. I'll get to that in a second. There's our contact information, and we are uh, always open to partnering with local canoe clubs in the area. There's a couple up north that we know very well. Most of them in Alameda Bay. There's one in Santa Cruz that we know. We're as far east as New York, and we have chapters that we partner with in Brazil. There's a couple in Hawaii, and so we're just we just love paddling, and we do that with anyone that has a disability. But initially, my story going back to that, there is me. I think at the exact age where I weighed the exact amount I want to lose now, probably like 12
RJ,
pounds there. Yeah.
RJ, I can only see your phone number still. I don't know
Oh,
why, but yeah.
I don't know why either. Hold on.
There we go.
Does that work? You know what?
Yeah,
How about maybe it just doesn't? Oh, hold on. Can we just go this way then? Is
that's
that
fine.
okay? Okay.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So there's that. And then there's me at the exact age and weight that I would like to lose now. Um, this wasn't the one picture on the right there, on the left there. They didn't know I had cancer yet. So for those of you that don't know, retinoblastoma is usually diagnosed when they take a picture and instead of getting red light reflex, for those of us that remember what red light reflex is from the days when we had cameras with a flash and film, it would not come back red, it would come back white. And so my mom caught it when I was 2. And then from there, went through the therapies and treatments that I mentioned earlier. But for my parents, from my understanding, well, for any parent, it's difficult and just traumatic to find out that your kid has cancer. They moved here in 73, and so no insurance, and uh, they were able to find the care for me and the help. So one thing my mom wanted to do before I went through the chemo and radiation is take me to Disneyland. And so there's that picture. And there I am with my mom in one spot, and there I am with my dad in another. And then fast forward a little bit, there's me and my son and my mom, and me and my son and my dad in the exact same spots because we found out we took this picture about a year after we found out my son had cerebral palsy. So I'm a big Disney person. I think I'm just stuck in the trauma of age 2, but I really commend my parents for just fighting and doing what they did and getting me here today. That's a picture of me and my family, my wife Rita, and there's my son Timmy. Again, we're Disney people, so that's how we like to spend our time. So getting more into our organization, we center everything around the sport of outrigger paddling, and it's a wonderful sport that's rooted in Polynesian tradition. And really, what that translates to is a culture of yes. So you can only imagine when my team of five blind people wanted to do a race in Hawaii, everyone was basically like, "No way! I don't think you guys can do that." Um, we showed them wrong. We didn't finish first. We didn't even come close to winning. We finished last. But after an 18-mile race, we showed the world that this is what we can do. But the coolest part of it all is we also found a community that was willing to accept us and our disability and excuse the pun, but look beyond it and see that, you know what, hey, these guys, they're working hard just like us. And so they accepted us and we kept on racing and we kept on building our program vision in the Southern California area, specifically Orange County, which where we operate mostly out of, at least heard of us and at least got in the canoe to try it once. Uh, like any sport, it's a niche sport. Some people don't like water. Some people don't like being in the sun. Some people just don't want to put in that sort of like effort over a course of however long a race might be. But for those that stick around, it is definitely life changing. So in 2014, we adopted my little son or my little boy Timmy. And about a year, or about 2 or 3 months later, we found that he was having some delays. And then around age 1, we found out he had cerebral palsy, which of course wasn't necessarily the greatest thing to hear. But me and my wife just rolled with it, and I left Makapo for a little bit, kind of to settle things with my son's care. But then after that, we came back in, and one of the big things that I made sure that we did was make sure that we welcome all people with all types of disabilities. So even though like the majority of our programming is for all disabilities, blindness and low vision is definitely in our DNA, and it's definitely what has guided us to where we are today, 20 years later. So this is a canoe. We've got a family here. Canoes normally sit 6 people, but in this particular case, we have the capacity to seat 12. So we take out 12 people at any one time. I joke a lot, so I always laugh when I see a vision statement and it's presented by a person with low vision. So I'm going to skip that because I kind of forget what the vision statement is. But our programming goals are fairly simple. We've got athletic goals, make sure everyone has reaped the benefits of getting outdoors and getting physical exercise in a safe and controlled way, depending on what their athletic goals are. We have therapeutic goals. People come to us with lots of disabilities, right? So uh, we consult with not only the parent, but maybe some of the therapists to see what things we can work on. We're really not there to solve problems. We're there just to build upon them and support whatever therapies they're getting outside of our programming. And then we also have research goals, and the reason being is because we want to make sure that everything we do is codified. And for those of you that might have heard of hippotherapy, like horseback riding therapy, our goal is to get that data in so that we can show that there are physical benefits that not only affect physical change, but also social emotional change, and then eventually maybe get insurance to pay for it. But that's a lofty goal, and it's going to take a while, but I think we'll get there. So again, what is outrigger paddling? Outrigger paddling is a Polynesian-based sport. It uses a canoe just like this. It's 40 feet long, 6 people in the canoe. The person in the back is the person that steers, and everyone else can have any other kind of disability. You could put a blind person in almost any other seat. Although I have steered a canoe before, when we get into open ocean conditions or there's lots of canoe traffic during a race, and our races are anywhere from 6 miles to uh, 41. That's the longest race I've ever done, which is about 4 miles longer than the race we do from Newport Beach to Catalina, or one way or the other. The longest race that I was just mentioning is from the island of Molokai to Oahu, and I did that as a member of a mixed ability team. And again, that's just because our goal really is to show that people with little or no vision can perform with the best of them, and the blindness doesn't really matter when you get into a situation where everyone is working together. And I think that's a big important message, hopefully, that I can keep on going to tonight. Um, and then the other part about it is, how many times do you get into a situation when you're blind or low vision that you know that other people who are sighted are relying on you? Um, People with disabilities, we're always talking about becoming more independent, and there are limitations to that independence. So instead of looking at it from an independent or dependent state, we like to say that we're looking for interdependence, find out what each of us does best, and then build on each other's strengths, and use those strengths to make sure the goal is achieved. And of course, when it's a race 41 miles long in the middle of the open ocean between two Hawaiian islands, you need to have that. But that's the tip of the spear. That's the awesome stories. But really, what we're about is just getting anyone on the water. Cool picture here. This is our King's Hawaiian boat. They do sponsor us, and so we're very proud and grateful to their aloha for donating money. No, there is no bread in that canoe. Nothing gets baked in there. But yes, we will again play the joking card when we go up to the races. We will come up to the start line, stop with everyone else, go into our seat, and pull out a bag of King's Hawaiian rolls and start eating them in front of everyone. and then we'll throw roles at other people. So guys pretty much figured out probably that we don't really like to take our disability too seriously. We're always joking about it because, yeah, disability can get to be a pretty dark place. And it is also harder for our caregivers. Sometimes it is harder for the caregivers to kind of comprehend and find out what we do need, whereas those of us with a disability ourselves, hopefully we could just roll with it. So we also see ourselves as ambassadors. So moving on, we have lots of different programs that are we start at the far end of the spectrum. We're not just looking to find people that want to go 20 plus miles, 5+ hours. We start at the very basics. And we do that with what's called the Ohana Day paddling experience. And again, Ohana means family in Hawaiian, as the little blue guy Stitch had mentioned. And it's just a day people come out. You come try it, and hopefully you do like it. I'm going to see if I can play this. Would that be okay to try and play this?
Yes,
Sure.
Okay. So this is like footage from one of our Ohana days I think last year. Now, the question is can you hear it?
Not yet.
No. Okay. Gotta love technology, right? Can sing over it. How am I doing so far? Am I boring you guys? You guys all right?
Not
You're
at
doing
all.
great.
Thank you. It's
Okay.
wonderful. I've never seen so many people in a canoe before.
Yeah, like the good thing is you can hide behind them and you can just sit there and paddle, which a lot of people do, right? You're just not physically capable of doing it. So um that's the kind of the neat part about our sport. Okay, let's see if I can just turn this on. How about that?
That
Yes.
works. Thank you.
Okay. Let me know if it's too loud. So that's basically like an Ohana Day typical, um, maybe 20 to 30 people that come out and just come try it. We also provide lunch simply because that we know that taking people with disabilities from one place to another, transitions can be tough. Can be tough. So we provide lunch, uh, kind of partial to Mexican food. But then again, it's uh, it's just good to be able to just sit down and and just meet the other families and kind of figure out where everyone is in their journey of vision loss or disability. And then hopefully we could provide guidance into finding some other resources because resources is what it's all about. And advocating for more resources is the key to everything that we do. So that's the basics. And so hopefully there someone says, you know what, I really want to come out more often. And one of the ways that they can do that is by joining our adult outrigger team, which I think we renamed it to the NAC Makapo Para Outrigger team. And so this is a good segue into talking about the Newport Aquatics Center. And the Newport Aquatic Center is our host facility, and it's in Newport Beach, California. And it's a world-class training facility where people from all over the world come to train for the Olympics. And so there's people who walk around that look like action figures. And right next to them, training next to them, are just your regular Joe Schmoes. And then there's also people like us with disabilities that are sharing the space so that everyone kind of keeps grounded and gets reminded of the fact that, you know what, this is um, this is an important thing to remember, and the fact that we're sharing spaces together is something that should be celebrated and not poo-pooed, if you will, because sometimes we will get in the way. Sometimes things take longer, but yeah, I think that's one thing that we've been able to endear into our NAC Ohana back in Newport Beach. So I'm going to show you something else. I'm just going to kind of go back and forth here with different stuff because I don't think I was able to put this one into the slideshow. So we'll do this. And so outrigger paddling kind of looks like that. Hold on, what do I got here? Okay. So this is us on our one of our races from Catalina or from Newport Beach to Catalina, which is about, like I said, about 31 to 33 miles. So sorry for the singing. Who's in there right now? There's me in seat 3 or 2, and then the guy behind me, or I'm in seat 3. Where's Efren? Oh, he's not in the boat yet. On this particular, on that particular race, we had two visually impaired people, and it was really it's always a testament to the courage and the trust that our athletes have with us. So in that particular race, also, people have to switch in and out. So as the canoe is going by, our chase boat, which has 3 more additional athletes, will kind of go in front. Those 3 will jump in the water. The canoe goes by, and then they'll grab on the canoe as it goes by, and then the other 3 will jump out. You'll climb in, and you'll just leapfrog your way, and that just makes the crossing a little bit more quick instead of having to just iron it all the way across. So when we had blind and low vision, or when we had a totally blind person that did that, we had someone who was like a lifeguard, and we held his hand. And as the canoe was going by, we put his hand right where he needed to go, and he was able to climb in, and he successfully completed the race that he was in. So, yeah.
All right, RJ, we have about 7 more minutes. I just wanted
Sure.
to make sure if anybody had any questions, specifically people that lived in SoCal, if they want to hear about how to get involved or how to get their child involved, now's the time to ask the questions.
I have a
Exactly.
question. Yeah, my question is, how much does it cost? How does the finances work?
Oh, the business model part of it all, right? You know, we're a charity, and so 80% of what we do, or 80% of our income has to come through philanthropic sources. So one of the cooler things that we've been able to leverage is regional center. But again, for those of us that deal in the blind and low vision space, regional center sometimes isn't an option. But if you do have a concurrent co-diagnosis, regional center will cover that. So for us, anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a year per athlete or per participant. But you know, it's not uncommon that we're giving scholarships of anywhere from 50 to 75 to 100%. No one's going to get rich off of outrigger paddling, and no one ever should. And so we're committed to that. So that's how we've been operating for 20 years. And so, yeah, like for Ohana days, it's fairly cheap. It might be $20 to $30 just to pay for food.
And is this something that participants can get reimbursed through San Andreas Regional Center for? Because our daughter can take swim lessons and can get reimbursed through San Andreas Regional Center now.
Yeah, basically that's kind of like how it works. And if you contact me and we can find a canoe club that your daughter can join, because it's through social rec, right? Or social recreation
You got
programs.
it. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the cool thing is, and you could probably share this with others, right? Like the funding can't go to programming that's specifically for people with disabilities. There has to be a typical person in there. because they want our kiddos to be able to have lived experiences with typical peers. So finding a canoe club that is willing to take your child is the only barrier, and we can help do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Cool.
I have a question, RJ. Do you have
Yeah.
or do you have like a list of the any Ohana days that are coming up, or do you have any like summer programs or anything happening for the younger kids?
Yeah. You know what? I just timed this all wrong, so I'm very sorry. I was going to get to that, so I'll go quickly. Um, we have a program called Team Mixed Plate that meets once a week, covered through Regional Center. We have camps, one in late June, one in mid-May, or mid-July and early August, and those are covered by Regional Center. Depending on which one you're at, Orange County is doing a great thing where they're covering people with the disability and they're covering a typical peer, so they're paying for both. Um, and then Ohana Days, if you want to look at our website, makapo.org, we have a monthly public one. We have one this Saturday, and then we have monthly public ones on every third Saturday. And then if you're in the Orange County or LA area and you're part of a group like Wayfinders comes out, Braille Institute comes out, and I think we're working on Blind Children's Learning Center. But if you're part of a small parent group or something like that, give us a call and we can schedule an Ohana Day for your group specifically. And again, cost is about 30 per adult and then 20 per kid. And so everything's included. And then we're in that double hull type boat, so it's very safe. Instruction, safety equipment, and stuff like that. Did you guys see that boat with 2 hulls? So there was like 12 people at one time. Did everybody see that?
Yes.
Impressive.
Yeah, like it's the only one of its kind. We got some funding, and we were lucky enough to have all the cockpits taken out so therapists can go in, aides can go in, and of course, because we're goofy, we named one hull Marco and we named the other one Polo.
Love the humor.
Love that. That's perfect.
Right. I got to show you one more thing. Please, please, please. So the final thing that we're working on is something called the COOP device. And what I'm about to show you, this shouldn't take too long. And again, I'm sorry I'm rushing, but I want to respect everyone's time. Everybody see this canoe? It's only got one person on there.
Yes.
Yeah. So you'll see an orange device on the back. The paddler on there, his name is Chuck. He's being remote controlled, steered by us in a boat that's following it. And so this is what we're trying to propose to the outrigger community, is to let us use this device to get more blind people to go out and paddle. But talk about
Up and down.
talk about courage and talk about just pushing the envelope when you get oops, that wasn't long. When you get technology, people who care, and everyone on board, you get a blind person in the middle of the ocean on a one-person canoe. So we're going to Singapore to do a race exhibition. It's the first of its kind. We're very, very lucky. We had to fight. Blind people are kind of left out once in a while because there's not a lot of us, and so our job is to kind of speak out and do it from a joking but also kind manner. We never go out with our guns blazing, but we definitely want people to hear that you can't leave the blind people out of it. We have a place just like everybody else. And I'll show my phone number, and I think that'll be it.
Yeah, I
Oops.
think a lot of the times we feel that left out, that, even like you said with the regional center, I think almost everybody on the call
Right.
has that resource, but some
Right.
of us don't. I'm one of those people that doesn't quite have that yet.
I'm
So
gonna hug you from here.
so it's having to always show up for our children, and
Right.
you being out there and having that lived experience, and then providing or doing something that you love and sharing it with other people of all abilities is helpful, and to know that you're out there, trying to
Yeah.
fight the good fight. So thank you.
Thank you. Where are you located, Olivia?
Oh, I'm in Santa
Can I ask?
Clara.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a canoe club we know there. We'll get it. We'll get you guys out there because I know that now the canoe clubs are seeing like it's possible. Like it might not be like a weekly thing, but at least one gets started. So,